Good afternoon. I will start with a confession. I'm not here to wow you, and I'm not selling the next big thing. I am not even an entrepreneur. I am an entrepreneur, the one who builds from the inside. There is no shortage of innovation in the room today, but I will talk about something quieter, even boring: fraud prevention. It is not what grabs the headlines, but it is the one that quietly decides for the profitability of every travel business in this room. Imagine a client flying from Argentina, Buenos Aires, to Doha, and trying to book a last-minute business class ticket with a US card. Most of the systems would block that as a suspicious transaction. But what if I told you that this was the World Cup final 2022 in Doha? Fraud decisions are much more than just a cost. Only 1/3 is direct fraud cost. The rest 2/3 is opportunity lost. It is the sales you could have had. It is the growth you have missed out on. It is the markets that you did not enter. That is not a fraud problem. That is a business problem. Etraveli faced similar challenges. We were not the exception. And the solutions out there were just not good enough for a global travel business like us, operating in thin margins. And that is exactly why we built Precision, to stop leaving money on the table. But what makes it really different? With more than 20 years of fraud experience across all continents, we have seen firsthand how creative fraudsters can be. They exploit fare classes, itineraries, passengers' details, and many other flight characteristics. A safe-looking family trip planned months ahead can turn overnight into a risky international transaction with just one passenger departing the next day. Precision thinks like a travel expert. It turns deep industry knowledge into real-time intelligence. It understands weak spots, evolving new patterns, and adapts dynamically. But that alone was just not enough. Our technology brings together multiple components, including AI built as travel demands. It is powered by models trained with travel-specific data, constantly validated to make sure that they only allow the relevant signals fit our engines. Its components adapt to fraud strategies customized for each client demands. And the goal is only one: to maximize all KPIs that matter. This level of care and quality is what drives our exceptional accuracy. And that is the real difference. Where others settle for good enough, we don't. But what makes us really different is one thing, and how do we prove it another? Numbers do not lie. When one of Etraveli's OTA deployed Precision, EBITDA grew by 20%. In an industry with razor-thin margins, a $500 fraud hit would require almost 35 new legitimate transactions to recover. And that is a game changer. Precision's industry-leading fraud and approval rates have powered the group's expansion, global expansion. It is one of the few, if not the only international player who entered LATAM successfully and stayed. We didn't stop there. We compared our performance with leading OTAs and airlines. And the results were always consistent. Precision outperformed every time. That convinced us. If it works for a global player like Etraveli, it should work for the wider travel ecosystem. Launched under a year ago, Precision is scaling fast. It is already trusted and integrated with global leaders like Amadeus, Sabre, MasterCard, and more on the way. Our business model is simple. Clients can connect with us directly or through our partner network. With every client, we build a business case. They perform, we perform. And we only claim part of the value we create. We do the heavy lifting. We reduce operational cost, and we leave more control to our customers. We focus on profit optimization, not just fraud cost reduction. And that is the difference between fraud prevention as a tool and fraud prevention as a strategy. So no, I'm not here to wow you. Fraud prevention should be invisible when it works. And we build precision out of need, not to sell. And we made it available to the travel ecosystem because it works. And if that sounds boring, then so be it, because in fraud prevention, boring wins. Thank you.
Well done, Peny. Nicely done. Audience, let's vote first. Looks like a lot of greens, two reds maybe. Focus group. Mike again.
Okay.
We're going to start with Eric this time.
So first of all, I don't think it's boring at all. Way back when we took Expedia public, about 2 months after we went public, we got hit with a credit card ring fraud. So it's a fantastic thing to be working on. I didn't really understand from your presentation though. How do you guys get paid? Do you get a percentage of what the companies save, or is it a SaaS model? How does it work?
No, it's not a SaaS. We actually, I said that we built a business case with every client, and we need to demonstrate that we create value. For example, how does precision create value? We reduce the sale declines, we reduce the fraud cost, we optimize for transactions that might go too much on secure channels that have conversion issues. And all that has an impact in the P&L. When precision comes in and we compare this to blended, let's say, combined KPIs, there is a value that it's being created. If I come to you and I say, I'm going to deliver 30 bips into your P&L because what you're doing now versus what I would be doing on all those three KPIs will create value. Wouldn't you share a fraction of this with me?
I would. Is that the model?
Yes, that's it.
Marilyn, you want to ask one?
Yes, I had a question. In this climate where people are using AI to increase fraud and diversify how it comes about, how do you keep up with how AI is changing the landscape for you?
Constant investment is the easy answer, but the tough answer is that the agentic AI will transform both the supplier chain, but also the customer booking flow and everything that has to do with the travel experience. Behaviors that before were easy to identify, bots, for example, you would identify that this is a bot activity. Now it's going to be the new normal, and it would be really hard to be able to tell what is a normal behavior or from what is a behavior that is coming from an AI agent. So the fact that we are having so much travel experience, 20 years deep into the industry, allows us also to be able to identify and embed all these fraud strategies and knowledge in our technology. And it evolves in a real-time logic.
Thank you very much, Peny. Well done.